Alright guys, so I bought some iArmor steps on eBay for my 2017 2500hd Silverado, and it's a pretty nice step. They look solid, good quality, craftsmanship. The valves look really good. Look pretty heavy duty. So my truck is the 6.6 diesel, and I have the def tank on the side, and I did not find a video about how to install these steps with the def tank. So I am going to go ahead and show you guys what to do. Alright, so I'm on the floor here in front of my garage. I am going to go ahead and show you guys how to take off this plastic shield that's on the side of the def tank. Here we go. So we have a bolt right here, and we go to the side. There's a bolt right here, another one right here, and let's see here. Maybe you guys see a little better right here. There's one right there, and this tank would drop down, and we'll gain access to behind it and see what else we had to remove. Alright, so got it unstuck. Should just pull right out, and there it is. We have a little bit of crud here. I'll clean that out. I don't like the design here and how the Chevy puts this def tank on the side, but this is what I have, so we'll deal with it. But right under here is where it needs to go. Here's the bolts for the side steps, all down the side. And alright guys, so this is the side of the def tank. I was able to take the plastic shield off and get my fingers back here. There's about this, you can see about, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches of room between the def tank and this bracket that has to go up there. It's the small bracket, and what you're going to do is you're going to put the bolt in first. So what I did was I grabbed a little 8mm bolt, I went through here, and I screwed it on with my fingers. And I got it screwed in about halfway. Then I grabbed the bracket, put it through there at the same time, or I got the bracket and I slipped it right underneath the bolt, lined it up with the hole in the bottom right here, and I have a little 13mm ratchet wrench. I am tidying this bolt up. I'm doing it this way because I didn't want to take off the def tank and lower it just to get behind there, so it takes me a little more time doing it this way, but I don't have to deal with the def tank. And I am getting this bolt nice and tight with just a ratchet wrench. Alright guys, so I put the shield back on. It's just, you know, reverser of how you took it off. It's pretty easy. And what I did was, okay guys, so I went ahead and got a hammer and put it here and here, and I just pried up a little bit and got some clearance between the def tank and this bracket right here. The directions call for you to remove or cut a little section of this plastic cover, but I figured I'd rather have the plastic cover on there to protect my def tank from rubbing a hole in it. So I pulled it back about 1/4 inch, which wasn't too bad. It was pretty easy, and I slid my shield on there, and it has just enough clearance between here and here, and if it rubs anything, it's just going to rub against my plastic shield on my def tank. So I think that's a much better approach to keeping the def tank from getting a hole in it. And now that we got the hardest bracket out of the way, we'll finish installing the rest of it. That way is the back of the vehicle, and there's already a threaded bolt in here, so you just thread the bolt in there and tying it down, and then right here it's ready pre-drilled from the factory. You put this little clip in, tying the bolt down, your bracket's already ready to go, and then go down to the next hole and same thing. I had to put a insert right here that the kit came with. I took off this little plug right here and put it to the side, and I put the insert in and tying down this bolt, no problem, and also this bottom one. And the passenger side is complete. I just gotta put the step rails on now. And that's what it looks like installed from the front of the truck to the rear. Alright guys, so I got it loosely on. There's a little bracket that goes on there. I got it only on the middle right now. So the kit comes with these brackets and also these bolts right here. So these bolts, it's pretty simple. Goes in like so. And the bracket. Pretty clever little design here. So these bolts, they have little stops right there. It goes into that square hole, and all you do is thread it here. Put one. It's kind of hard to do this one hand. Two, and it holds on to the step quite nicely. And right in the back side, you're just gonna put your washer and your lock washer with your bolt, and then you're gonna tighten it down just a little bit. Leave it a little loose so you could adjust the steps side to side and get it centered on the truck. And I am going to go ahead and finish installing the other one, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I have a tip for you. So when installing the brackets, come around this back side, make sure you pick up the step enough to where this part right here and this part right here is even on this bracket. Because if you try to tighten it down and these steps are too far down, well, it's gonna miss this piece and it's gonna go on crooked. So you gotta make sure it's even right here so it grips onto the step, and also on the top, even right there so it grips onto the step. It's pretty easy. You just hold it with your knees or something, or a little block, put it underneath there, and then you just tighten them down. The front part you don't have to worry because it has these blocks right here to line it up, so that's not no big deal. And you just make sure the steps are straight and then centered on your vehicle, and that's my tip for these steps. Alright guys, my truck's kind of hard to see in the bottom because I have the rhino lining, but the step is installed and it's leveled. Here's a better side view. Looks pretty good. And I centered it right here. I pretty much went flush with this piece of plastic on the front door, and then it lined up everything else. But as you can see, it covers up the depth tank pretty good, so it takes away that ugliness it had. And not too bad, pretty simple. It took me about an hour for the passenger side, and I decided to get that side out of the way first because it was the hardest side and it's getting to be sunset. So we'll work on the driver's side and get that taken care of. It should only take about 30 minutes. Okay, here on the driver's side, there's a front tire. These ones are a lot easier to get to. There's nothing in the way all the way to the back. So, as I said before, you just thread the bolts into the side, put these little tabs right here, bolt tabs, and it just goes right on here, and then you slide it on, and that's it, and then you bolt onto the bracket straight to it. And again, this one's the driver's side front bracket. So I'll get these installed and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so this is the driver's side. Now the spacing was a little different on the middle bracket. Instead of it being right here on the middle door, I put it right here. So it made it a little easier because there's a bracket from the body that's in the way right here. So I put it right here, just as strong, and it wasn't too hard at all. It was really easy. So just a little tip on that. And also on this back one right here, you had to put one of those metal, on the back one you had to put one of those little metal bolts that go on the back. Get a good look right here. See this hole right here? Take the little plug out, and then you slide one of those little collars in that have a bolt built in. Alright guys, so it's getting a little dark outside, but still has some light. Just finished up the driver's side. Pretty much the same steps as I did on the passenger side. They went up pretty smooth. Still see it pretty good. Nice and even. Again, I went over here and I lined it up with the piece of plastic right there. And just tied them all down once I got it where I wanted it. Pretty simple. And it is pretty sturdy. It doesn't even move. I already stepped on it and it didn't even give whatsoever. So that is the install on these running boards. I will have the link on my YouTube channel where I got them from, and also the part number. So the tools I used, of course, was this old hammer, a 13mm, 2 extensions, 10mm, screwdriver to pop out those little plastic grommets, a 16mm, and the electric ratchet with a 13mm. The directions that came with it were pretty informative, but it'd be nice to have a video that also could go alongside with it. They're pretty detailed as to where everything has to go and what needs to be taken off and put on. Nice little parts list of what it comes with. So that's the install on my 2017 2500hd diesel with the DEF tank. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, put a thumbs up and subscribe.